Tatum in so much pain. And the Celtics call timeout, grabbing that right ankle. And that's the final timeout for the Boston Celtics, but more importantly, Tatum really shaken up.
Celtics fans, if you're watching this video, I'd suggest you look the other way. Jayson Tatum suffered a horrible, non-contact injury during Game 4 against the Knicks, despite playing for the majority of the game and dropping 42 points. Coach Mazzulla has opened up on the seriousness of the injury, and it seems like Boston is now headed in a very poor direction in the future. Can Tatum bounce back swiftly from the injury that ended many careers? And more importantly, what is the timetable for return? One of the most hated words in the NBA world is Achilles. It usually comes with another word in front of it, torn or ruptured, but never a positive one. Be that as it may, Tatum's non-contact injury in the closing stages of Game 4 led to a lot of questions, with the most important one being, what is it precisely that he suffered from? Of course, you're always hoping that it's not the worst, but Tatum had to be helped out and pushed in a wheelchair as he shoved his face in the towel in what was visible pain and frustration for the Celtics guard. The team did an urgent MRI in New York City, and according to the head coach, Joe Mazzulla, the situation was definitely tough to watch. Talking about it to a greater extent, Mazzulla said, "Tatum is the type of guy that gets right up. So he didn't, and we'll know tomorrow exactly what it is. It's tough watching a guy like him get carried off like that. It was a lower body injury. He is with the doctors now. I have no idea what it is. I got back there, talked to the medical staff, and they told me it's a lower body injury and we'll get an MRI. We'll see where it goes from there." Obviously, the hopes were not as high because even before the MRI, the staff kind of knew that we were going to see something that would shape up the future of the Celtics in the wrong direction. Tatum's MRI revealed a torn Achilles, and he underwent immediate surgery because early surgeries tend to have a much better rehabilitation effect on the body compared to the ones diagnosed and treated later. And again, we have to see what the doctors have to say regarding this matter. According to Dr. Laffy Khalil of Henry Ford Health, the chances of Tatum playing professional basketball at the highest level possible are if the rehabilitation process is nailed to perfection. Dr. Khalil studied NBA players who sustained Achilles tendon ruptures going back to the 1970s and found that 72% of players returned to the league. Those who did return have notched a significant step back in their first year, but eventually, most of them were able to return to a playable form. Elaborating further on this, Dr. Khalil said, "Overall, when comparing them to themselves and their pre-injury baseline, they had less game utilization and they had reduced production and performance, which we measured with player efficiency rating, than their own pre-injury baseline. But when we compared them to healthy controls, we really only saw that reduction in the first year. By the time we got out to 3 years after surgery, they had maybe played in fewer games or started fewer games, but overall, their minutes played and performance were generally about the same." Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe said that after confirming the injury, Tatum emerged from surgery with no further issues, which was a relief because it's very common for these procedures to come with complications. The Celtics offered no initial timetable for Tatum to return, but recent history is giving clear indications that he could miss the entire 2025-26 season. It was the same with Kevin Durant, who ruptured his Achilles during Game 5 of the NBA Finals on the 10th of June 2019, and we saw him in action on the 22nd of December 2020. According to Shams Charania, the Celtics are now destined for a change regardless of the outcome of Tatum's injury, as he went on to say, "The Boston Celtics are bracing for the worst with Jayson Tatum and that right foot. He underwent an MRI in New York City, and the Celtics have been expecting a severe injury for Tatum since last night. Win or lose, the Celtics have been destined for potential changes in the offseason. And now they have Jayson Tatum, who's on a supermax contract and potentially with a serious injury. So, what happens with the Celtics now? the medical staff did what they had to do and fixed the injury just in time, and given the fact that he is 27 years old, there is a lot of positivity that the team needs to hope for in the future. Kevin Durant was 30 years old when he ruptured his Achilles, and he came back in a strong fashion, scoring 27.9 points per game over 5 seasons since returning. There is little cause for concern that Tatum can't come back and play at a superstar level for the Celtics. However, the team might have to wait a little bit, an entire season to be precise, before they receive any type of Tatum in the future. Without him, we'd have to be looking at the alternatives that the Celtics can rely on. And even though they are known as a team to have other individuals who can step up, including Jaylen Brown, it's not going to be easy without arguably one of the best players in the league. Paul Pierce, the 2008 champion with the Celtics, was feeling very sad when he saw the injury of Jayson Tatum. And, when talking about this situation to a greater extent, Pierce said, "It felt like the air came out of my house. It looked like the air came out of Madison Square Garden." From the reaction on his face, it looked like a player who knew he was hurt badly. When I saw him walk out without putting any pressure on it, and then we saw the wheelchair, I knew it was bad. I just feel bad for Jayson and the Boston Celtics. He was putting together a game that we were going to be talking about for a long time. He was on his way to 50 points, carrying the Celtics. The fact that the Celtics are coming off a championship-winning season doesn't help the situation either. Fears about them missing the playoffs next year are realistic because losing a superstar is never an easy thing to deal with, despite having a wide roster to rely on. Still, even when Tatum comes back, it's going to be very difficult to bring himself back to the level he played at right now, which, although it is a real possibility, is something that will take a bit more time than usual. On top of the injury, the Celtics have put themselves in a very poor position and have gone down 3-1 to the Knicks. It's highly unlikely that they will have a smooth path in the remainder of the playoffs, and the fact that the veterans are not in their best form is also a true indicator of what's left of this team. Kristaps Porzingis is not looking great. Al Horford and Drew Holiday are also questionable, and it looks like Brown would have to prove his contract of $300 million over the span of 3 years. So far, that hasn't looked great for him because he entered Game 5 having shot under 40% in 4 of his last 6 games, including a 9 for 38 mark from deep and committing 20 turnovers over that span. With all this in mind, what do you think of the potential return of Jayson Tatum ahead of the 2025-26 season? And do you think that he is going to miss the entirety of it? Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen right now.